What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to HBCU Pulse Radio. We're out here making it happen. And I brought my special guest in with me. We have CDK on the mic, the number one HBCU host. He's been rocking with HBCU Pulse since 2020. He's now a content partner for us. And we have Sárah Lee, a senior at Hampton University currently, and she is a TV and radio personality for HBCU Pulse. And we brought in the two hosts to talk about homecoming, because homecoming is such a pertinent topic in the HBCU community. So CDK, I want to get the conversation started. I want to get folks to see the behind the scenes vibe of homecoming, because I think that people saw the behind the scenes, what went on. I think that people will understand what us and SGA have to go through, CDK. So walk us through what it takes to plan a homecoming concert.
Well, the first thing that you have to do is vet the artist, right? So I think that sometimes people don't understand that vetting the artist is like the biggest part and the biggest portion when it comes to making sure that your artist can even come to that city, right? The second thing that goes into that is getting connected with the label or the booking agency. When you get into those higher end artists that have booking agencies, it's not like it's just a thing where it's like, oh, well, you know what I'm saying? Call a little baby and see how much he costs. It doesn't go like that. There's a whole management team. There's a product manager. There's a road manager. There's his actual manager. There's so many people you have to go down the line of to see if he's even available for that day. So when it goes into that and just get everything situated, the number one thing is just knowing who to get your points of contact is, knowing if your school is net 10, net 15, net 30, meaning how far in advance or how far after will you get paid from the event. You have to let the label know that as well. And also your W-9 forms, all of that good stuff. And it's even crazier if they have a booking agency. So people just think you just call a little baby and just say, little baby, you available on October 15th? Doesn't work like that.
And I'm going to tell you this, man, net 15, net 30, hate it. I just tell you,
nah, really.
Entrepreneur, listen, net 15 and net 30 ain't fun, especially for state schools. Because I know that, for schools such as Fort Valley, Albany State, and even North Carolina A&T, a lot of those checks don't go out immediately. You don't get paid beforehand. So you have to get that check approved and signed off by the university systems in a lot of these states. And that's when the money goes out. And sometimes what people don't understand is that if the artist isn't getting the money immediately, they ain't trying to perform. And
really.
Sometimes they go up and they like, listen, I'm not touching this stage, so I get my money. And then some folks done left before. I'm not going to say any artists. I ain't trying to mess with nobody's money or anything like that. But I've heard some stories. I've heard you had too, CDK.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
But the thing is here is that I want to really get into this conversation. So CDK, you currently attend North Carolina A&T. So you all have always had legendary homecoming concerts, right?
Right.
And I attended Fort Valley. And with Fort Valley, amazing school, love my HBCU, but we're not North Carolina A&T in terms of our budget and also in terms of enrollment. So I want to get the vibe from you. What is a homecoming concert like at North Carolina A&T?
Okay, well, before I get into the reason why we get all these high-end artists, number one reason why A&T's homecoming is what it is because our population is so big. We are the number one HBCU when it comes to enrollment size, for one. So when it comes to alumni, we've been the number one HBCU when it comes to enrollment for so many years. We have a lot of alumni that come back. I know a lot of HBCUs have their homecoming concert in their gymnasium or in their arena, wherever that may be. We have our homecoming concert at the Coliseum, and it sells out every year. That's 20,000 people. Greensboro Coliseum is the second biggest Coliseum in the United States. We sold it out with A&T alone within a week. So I think people understand relative to size as far as who's buying tickets, why we can get those high-end artists because we pull in those numbers. So that's number one. Going into why we can get the artists that we do get is because promoters also combine with the school to bring the artists. The school may only pay about 20% or for production or whatever the agreement is, but they don't put in the money for themselves. So like when you have, for one, students think that you paying $60 for tickets on the floor for Little Baby is going to be a regular concert. Them Chris Brown tickets for when I sat in the fifth row was $700. You think students pay for that for a homecoming concert? No. So when we talk about getting those Cardi B's, getting those Nicki Minaj's, it doesn't work like that when you want to pay $60 for a ticket or even $80. Anything under $100. Come on now, let's be real.
But you brought up a great point because I want to get Sárah Lee in the conversation. But I have to say this: like I had a homecoming that that happened in the past at Fort Valley, and we had some heavy hitter artists. I know Lucci was the headliner for that year, and the big thing for us is that we were trying to get students to buy the tickets because like we hadn't had a concert in years at that point. And we were saying, hey, it's $30. It's $30 for an early bird ticket, $35 at the door. And they were like, $35? I saw Lucci at the mall in Atlanta. I'm like, Okay, you from Atlanta, birthday bash happy, you pay for those tickets. They were like, well, listen, we saw Lucci, we saw everybody, so we're not trying to pay no money for the Fort Valley concert. And it's like, okay, well, you want a concert or not? Because we got to recoup the money because we have this set budget that we have. And SCA was trying to help folks understand that, where we're trying to recoup the money for the lights, for the promotion, for the radio spots, for the different things that SGA and the campus activity budget is paying for. So I think that that's a really key point. And Sárah, I want to talk to you. So when it comes to homecoming events, first and foremost, I got to ask you, so are you willing to pay between $30 and $100 for a ticket to a concert?
I don't pay for anything now.
Oh,
so
Lord.
I really don't want to. I feel like if the school is going to put all this together, I feel like as students, we should just be able to enjoy it and just come. But then at the same time, I understand what you guys' points are about. These are the type of artists you guys are bringing to the homecoming. So $30 in the grand scheme of things is really not that bad for a price for a ticket. And it's at your campus. And you got the whole homecoming situation going on. So I personally don't like paying anything at all. But for the benefit of the school, I feel like it would be a good thing for students to pay, because it's just like you get what you pay for. $30 really is not that bad. And especially if you want a dope homecoming, I feel like that's really what it is. If the budget is right and the school is putting in this much, I feel like the students should be able to reciprocate that back if they want a dope homecoming in the future.
And I think that's important. And sorry, your campus media, so you're probably not gonna have to pay. We got media passes and all that.
That's really what I meant. That's what I mean. I don't pay for stuff because I'm media, not for anything else.
I'm so good because you get that media pass. You walk in. The only thing you can't do is talk to the artist sometimes. Sometimes you can't talk to the artist. That's the thing that people don't know. You get those media passes because sometimes, like how they have the artists, they treat them like they Barack Obama or some big dignitary at points. And it's like sometimes folks can talk to them, which I understand because a lot of folks don't know how to carry themselves around celebrities. And sometimes you might have folks that's from the city that's trying to make a name for themselves and harm these artists. You know what I'm saying? So I understand why you barricade them and guard them in. But even sometimes media, can't talk to the folks backstage.
Even just events in general, like it's not an easy process. People think just because they see a picture, it was that easy. Sometimes it's really not. Sometimes it's just, oh, let me get this pic real quick, or I gotta go. And you're definitely right. It's not something that, I'm glad it is set up that way because you just never know. And that goes with a whole bunch of legal things. And that even alone for the artist is a hassle.
So I want to really get to some misconceptions that a lot of folks have about homecoming. And CDK, you already alluded to it, about why can't smaller institutions have lineups like A&T, Howard, and FAMU? And you said essentially it's about enrollment. So my question to you, CDK, is this. Should our expectations go down a little bit? Because my thing with Fort Valley is that I thought that the homecoming, my favorite homecoming, honestly, was 2017. That was my favorite homecoming because we had the homecoming concert, but a week of events that was just lit in general. We had skate night, talent show, we had the step show, we had artists that came to that. It was just an amazing week in general. So should we temper our expectations at smaller schools such as like Fort Valley, Benedict, Albany State? Like, should we temper our expectations a little bit?
Expectations down or let the funds go up. That's really what the thing is right there. I mean, just being realistic. Once again, people have to get paid, right? When you go to work or anything like that, being realistic, y'all don't care what the cause is. If you go to work, you want to get paid, okay? And I think sometimes people be thinking, oh, we're FAMU, we're CAT, we're such and such. Do you think these celebrities care about that? No. They want to get their bag. I mean, some of them do, and some of them do have, come back and give and things like that. But at the same time, this is a job and this is a service that they're providing. Travel isn't free. You think that the hotel be like, oh, they're going to a HBCU, you know what I'm saying? So let them go ahead and just stay at this hotel free and let the plane ride be free. And no, none of that. It doesn't work like that. You know what I'm saying? So I think that we need to bring our expectations down a little bit, especially when people be like, oh, let's get Drake. Drake costs $3 million. Let's be real. You know what I'm saying? So that's just what we have to think about when we talk about that. And then, like you said, everything else that goes out, and not even just the artists, like just everything that goes into making a homecoming concert come together, security, everything like that.
Yeah, the team is important too, because sometimes like a lot of these artists have a huge team and entourage. They bring their brothers, their sister, you know what I'm saying, their girlfriend, and that's a lot of money coming in for that as well. But you said this, like you said, either tamper down your expectations or raise your budget. The budget ain't going up. So we just will lower our expectations. Let's be honest. All right. So Sárah Lee, I want to ask you this. So what makes a lit homecoming? Is it the week of events, or is it the concert itself? Because I've heard this talking point a lot over recent years. And I think a lot of folks, especially in a social media generation, I think they think that a homecoming concert is what makes a homecoming lit. So in your opinion, what makes a homecoming lit to you?
I mean, I can't lie. I'm always excited for a concert. As many people might not know, I did transfer to my HBCU just of recently. So the whole homecoming culture and everything is new to me. So this will be my homecoming experience that I'm going to experience very soon. But I feel like that's what my anticipation is always for, to see who the lineup is. But at the same time, the week is what is the lead up to it. So it's always fun just seeing everybody go to the smaller events and just gather and get excited. And we're all going to be talking about the homecoming concert. So I can't really say. I feel like it's a combination of both. But at the end of the day, everyone wants to know and everyone wants to be at that concert. So it's probably the concert.
I get it. I totally understand it. And I want to say for everyone listening, we do know that homecoming is really, especially fall homecoming, is for the football team. We know. All right. And I'm not going to say, because I know, and CDK looking at me crazy. This is one thing I talked to my brother about. My brother is in band. And one thing I said, I heard in the drumline, half time is game time. Man, listen, football goes crazy at HBCUs. You have a lot of great players. A&T has had a lot of amazing teams over the years. Fort Valley has had a lot of great teams, a lot of NFL draft picks out here and Hall of Famers. You know, we do our thing, you know, but I think that in general, like, you know, we know that football is what we're having this for and what we're celebrating. But at the same time, though, the festivities and the culture and alumni coming back, and also how you're engaging the community, I think that that's important. And I want to ask you this, CDK. I want to ask you all both this. How do we grade a successful homecoming? Like, what makes a homecoming bad? What makes a homecoming good? What makes a homecoming legendary? Is it the people and the experiences? Is it the off-campus vibe? Is it the artists? Is it the celebrities? Or is it just, hey, I had an amazing experience and this made this homecoming amazing to me? Like, how do we grade a successful homecoming, CDK?
Well, I will have to agree to disagree with you on the first point when it comes to football, because there's a lot of people that just go to the tailgate. And that leads to my point, which is the festivities, man. I think that it goes into everything that's going on with your age group, where you're at in life, whether you're a current student, whether you're a young alumni, whether you've been in the game 30 plus years. I think it's the fellowship of coming back and seeing people and seeing the new generations of Aggies, of Bisons, whatever school you go to see how your school has changed over the years, but that pride still stays the same. And that's what I love about homecoming season, is that we get to see how the legacy has been passed down from generations to generations. People have been seeing Dear A&T since 1891 all the way down till 2020, whatever. And I love that. And I think that's what it's about when it comes to homecoming, is about the festivities and fellowship.
So, Sárah, I want to toss to you on this point. So how do we grade a successful homecoming? Because you've had a homecoming experience. So how did you grade coming from, you know, a non-HBCU and coming to Hampton? How did you grade that homecoming? Like, what made it lit for you?
Well, when I came, our homecoming was a little bit different because it was COVID. So they can only do so much. So I feel like I haven't really experienced my true homecoming that I've always wanted to as of yet. But I feel like from what they have done and what I have experienced at Hampton so far, it's just like CDK said, being around the students and just hearing word of mouth what's going on and just being there with your friends. And even for me, being able to meet alumni and just people who are in Onyx, people who are in my class, that's what's exceptional to me. And I think that's what makes the homecoming so amazing, is just being around that. And I think that's what made my first experience dope, was just being new and feeling accepted. Like Hampton was already my family from a freshman, you know what I mean? So just, I love that HBCU love. I think that's what made my first one the best.
So let's talk about the importance of homecoming to the culture. So CDK, so you're real big in the community, you do a lot of amazing things. What does homecoming mean to the local communities that HBCUs are housed in?
Well, homecoming means to the local community. That's the time to get lit. That's the time to be on campus and not have anybody be on their head. Okay, so when it comes to locals, they get a chance to like for people that haven't been to a HBCU, like my mom, my dad. I'm a first generation college student. They get a chance to come in and see. Okay, this is a glimpse of what it's like to be on a campus full of Black excellence. This is a glimpse of what it's like to be around other Black doctors, lawyers, teachers, athletes, creatives, and see how we all come together and somebody that does everything. This is what it feels like to be at home and have a safe space for our people on a day-to-day basis. This is just a glimpse. This is just a 1 day or 2 days that you come out to homecoming, you get a chance to see this. And this is something that we experience every day on the HBCU culture.
And I think that's totally important. And Sárah, I got to toss to you because CDK know how I feel about this. We've had conversations about it, is that, listen, homecoming is like the NBA finals, all right, for campus influencers. Homecoming is like the Super Bowl. When you look at Michael Jordan or LeBron James or Kobe Bryant, when it was the NBA finals, they pulled out their best game. It's not a regular week. So if you're a videographer, go film some video. If you're a photographer, your photos got to be tight. If you're a journalist or a radio personality and it's an artist coming up, if they let you in with your media pass, I need you to interview. You know what I mean? So that's the big thing that goes on this homecoming culture when it comes to campus influencers. So I want to talk to you because you're a media personality at Hampton. So what does homecoming mean for campus influencers?
It means everything. Like for campus influencers like me and people just like me, this is really our time to showcase our abilities. I always feel like when this time of year comes around, everybody's looking to me to see like, oh, like what's going on, information, what can you tell me? And I'm always ready to just sharpen my skills as a personality and really get out there and network with students and network with alumni and talk to everybody and figure out different people's stories, because you can just find so much here in those couple days that really we don't get to see until this time of the year. So this is an exceptional time for anybody in this influencer space, in the media space, to really just go out there and start your brand and build your brand and get yourself out there, because that's what I do. You see me everywhere during this time of the year. I'm talking to any and everybody just because I want to have that family experience at my HBCU, and I want to be able to tell stories from the celebrities, from the adults, the children, just even being there. I just love seeing that. The little kids in their apparel running around, like that is so wholesome to me. And it's just a great time for you to really start and just put yourself out there when people can really see you on a main stage like this time of the year during homecoming.
You hit on such an amazing point about media and how media tells the story, but we don't got the time to even go into that because we got to go to a commercial break. But coming up, we have the ultimate homecoming lineup of the 2010s, because listen, we all grew up in the 2010s, CDK, Sárah, and I. So of course we consumed a lot of media and a lot of music at that time. So we're going to put our knowledge of 2010s music, the 2010s music landscape to the test. So make sure to stay tuned for that. Listen to HBCU Pulse Radio. What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to HBCU Pulse Radio. We're talking about the homecoming experience that is truly an HBCU experience, because you don't get nothing like this anywhere else. And we were all born in the 90s and 2000s. I'm a proud 90s baby, you feel me? So one thing for us is that we really came to prominence in the 2010s. And I think it was a lot of amazing music that occurred in the 2010s. And I think for a lot of HBCU homecoming concerts, those artists are memorialized within the concerts. Because when you look back at pictures and videos of that time, like Drake popping up at Howard's homecoming, like he was coming up at that time, he was still a prominent artist. And that was something that was memorialized in time. And oftentimes before these artists become huge global stars, they come to HBCUs and HBCU towns and perform. So we have this ultimate 2010s artist list where we're trying to put together our most lit concert experience of the 2010s. All right, this is hypothetical, first and foremost. CDK knows the prices for real. These ain't the real prices. I can assure you, you ain't getting Beyonce $500,000 ever in life. I just want to let you know that. All right, but we just did this hypothetically for the exercise. So I want to go down the different tiers of your build, your 2010s homecoming concert lineup. All right. So tier 1, these are the top tier artists. I'm going to run through them. We got Drake, we got Beyonce, Rihanna, Lil Baby, Kanye West, Travis Scott, Nicki Minaj, Kendrick Lamar, J. Cole, Gucci Mane, Rick Ross, Future, and Migos. Now, all 3 of the Migos, all right? So it's Quavo, Offset, and Takeoff. All 3 of them, all right? So you got tier 2. So tier 2 is the folks in the 2010s. They weren't necessarily the biggest stars, but they still were super important. So you got Ray Sherman, Megan Thee Stallion, Cardi B, Kodak Black, Quavo as a solo artist because he has some solo songs. All right, Lil Wayne, 2 Chainz, Young Thug, Meek Mill, Lil Uzi Vert, Chance the Rapper, 21 Savage, and Miguel with that adorn. You know what I'm saying? So tier 3 is the artists that they were popping, but towards the end of the 2010s, we started to not hear as much from them, but they still have a lot of hit songs. So A$AP Rocky, Bobby Shmurda, Lil Durk, YG, Wiz Khalifa, Rod Wave, Tyga, Rich Homie Quan, Fetty Wap, Chief Keef, and Soulja Boy. And some of these folks started popping at the end of the decade. So this is something that's big too. And tier 4 is the folks where, you know, you get your opening acts. I feel like these are opening act artists, but they're dope as well. So Dej Loaf, Young M.A., Waka Flocka Flame, Oh Let's Do It, and also FLY that created Swag Surf, which is basically the Black national anthem at HBCU. So CDK, you do this, man. You put together homecoming concerts. You put together birthday concerts. Whole 9 yards. So you know how to do this, all right? So I need you to tell us your lineup. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to get my lineup too, but I'm going to judge it. Then we'll let the audience decide. So give us your lineup.
Let's do it. All right. So I got a $1.5 million, right?
Yeah. So $1.5 million to spend. And like I said, once again, these are not real numbers. Don't sue me. All right. HBCU Pulse can't afford it. All right. But still, go ahead. We might afford it after this show. Go ahead. All right.
All right. Give me Drake and Beyonce off the rip. That's $1 million gone. All right. Drake and Beyonce. That's one for the girls, one for the guys. All right. Then we go into the $300,000 range in tier 2. Give me Lil Wayne. So we got Drake and Wayne together. That's going to do a set, right? They're going to be going back and forth, all right? So now I have what? I got $200,000 left. All right, give me $100,000. Give me Soulja Boy, the guy that created most of the dances that went through our childhood, right? And then I got another $100,000 left. Give me Chief Keef, the creator of drill music. And we're going right there. That's my $1.5 million spent. We got Chief Keef, Soulja Boy, Drake, Beyonce, and Lil Wayne. Beat that, please.
Sárah, Lisa, you're a current student, so you got to jump as well because you know what's popping on campus, all right? So talk to us. So what would be your ideal homecoming lineup, $1.5 million to spend from these list of artists?
I'm not going to lie. CDK's lineup was crazy. So I don't know if mine is going to top because he really had it all the way right. But for me, I think I'm going to go with tier 1. Just because I'm a super fan, Rick Ross is definitely number 1 for me. And then I'm going to pick Future as well, just because he was definitely lit. He has some dope records during that time. How much I got? I spent $1 million already?
Man, listen, I'm not an accountant. Okay, I need you to count for yourself. I'm not an accountant.
Who's the calculator? Because I'm not going to sit up here and act like I do some math. I'm not finna act like that.
That was $1 million gone for you. $1 million gone.
Man, okay. Listen, I wasn't a math major. I was a mass comm major, all right? So
sorry. CDK is our calculator, okay? So my $1 million is spent. I got Rick Ross and Future. I'm going to throw Bobby Shmurda. I like Shmurda. So I'm gonna do him, but that's it. I don't think I want anybody else.
Oh my gosh, you done like how much money she got left, CDK?
She got about what? $400,000 left. Use that budget. You gotta use the budget.
No, that budget. No, I don't want to spend that. I'm good. I think I'm good. That's all I want.
Man, see, listen, at this point from my list, Sárah Lee gave me $400,000, so I'm getting all ripped. Drake, Beyonce, and Rihanna. I don't know that even make the price. I don't even know. But like she said, listen, promoter, here, I got my artists. Here's the money back. You know what I'm saying? Donate to Hampton. Donate to the
Foundation. Money for other festivities, but that's really the only people I want. Honestly, man,
listen, Hampton with Sárah Lee doing. I'll tell you why this is great because $400,000 going to building out that week. It's gonna be a lit week. Comedy show. We gonna have Kevin Hart come down. Come on, man. Listen, it's gonna be lit, and it might just be Kevin Hart because Kevin Hart probably super high. So $400,000, he might just be a one man show at that point. All right, so let me try. And CDK, I need you to be the calculator for me. All right. So Let me try this out. So 500,000, I got 1.5 million. So honestly, I would probably do Drake and Kanye. And I would probably do something like that where they do like a situation where they go against each other. Like something like that. Maybe they're co-headliners. So then probably tier 2. So that's $1 million. I'm not even going to do tier 2. I'm really going to fill out. I'm probably have some money left over. I'm probably going to get Lil Durk. All right. I'm going to get Rod Wave. Rod Wave is something new for the folks on campus. I'm going to get Fetty. I'm going to get Fetty Wap. And Fetty's going to do those hits of songs he had back in the day. That's going to be lit. I'm going to get Soulja Boy. Because Soulja Boy is probably going to make it real interesting. Because he's probably going to beef with one of the artists that's there. So that'll make it really interesting. And also Pretty Boy Swag. The Cappers will go crazy for that. So that'll be real cool. And then I'll probably get Waka Flocka Flame and FLY. And how much money I got left over from that, CDK?
Oh, no, that was a whole budget. Yeah, you
whole budget. So I'm let in. So hey, is my homecoming good? CDK, come on now. My homecoming good?
Yeah, I mean, you got the HBCU culture kicking it off with the swag surf with FLY. Then, you know what I'm saying, building up to everything like that, and got Dirk in there. And you got, who's your other $50,000 artist?
My other $50,000 artist, I would say FLY, Waka Flocka Flame.
Oh, Waka Flocka Flame. Yeah, you headbanging. Oh, let's do it.
Oh, let's do it. And Hard in the Paint. And no hands. You know what I'll do? I would negotiate with Roscoe Dash and get him to come for free. He probably would anyway. You know what I'm saying? But like, I'm gonna get him to come for free, and so I wouldn't have to pay for it. And you know what? I'll probably get Wale for the 400,000 that Sárah Lee left over. All right. So like,
my money alone. My money is my money.
Like, listen, we go loan it and then get Wale, and the crowd will go crazy. All right. But listen. So what we're gonna do is, I need you all to tweet to the HBCU Pulse and let us know which homecoming you would go to. This is hypothetical. You can't say, oh, well, I would go to all of them. No, you can't do that. All right. Because it's hypothetical. And let's say mine is at Fort Valley, Sárah's is at Hampton, and CDK's is at North Carolina A&T. And his lineup sound like what actually happened for real. You know what I'm saying? So that might happen one of these years. All right. So I want y'all to keep that in mind. You can't go to all of them. You got to choose one. So make sure to tweet at HBCU Pulse to help us judge which lineup is the best. And also go to HBCU Pulse on Instagram and tap in with us and see which one you like the best. But outside of that, we're going to go on and close out the show. CDK, where can we find you on social media?
On all social media platforms, you can follow me at CDK on the mic. If you want to book me, CDKonthemic.com is where you can find me, and everything in between.
You can find me everywhere at Sárah Lee on air.